Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groones is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groones.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 77. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. There's a lot of buzz regarding Golden Gopher hockey right now, and rightfully so. Coming off of an appearance in the national championship game just 3 months ago, and most of a very talented nucleus coming back, expectations will be sky high again for the coming season. And any success the team has next season will be traced back in part to what the players are doing this summer, right now. It's a busy time for a roster full of players like the Gophers, many taking part in NHL development camps, national teams, summer workouts here on campus, and much, much more. We'll talk to one of the very busiest of the Gophers on this week's podcast. It's our pleasure to welcome Connor Kurth to episode 77. He's back from NHL development camp with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll talk with him about that and so much more. You'll enjoy the conversation for sure, so stick around. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. No one is better than Brian Slipka and his entire team at True North. Servant leadership at its finest. We're always honored to be able to talk about them and share their company story. We're also very honored to be a part of Affinity Plus and Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union's partnership with the Go Gopher Podcast. Affinity Plus is your local credit union throughout the state of Minnesota. Find out more at affinityplus.org/GoGophers. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, one of the very best Gopher supporters, and your local credit union throughout the entire state of Minnesota. Our podcast is also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplinInsurance.com. Tony is a big-time Gopher hockey fan. We're podcasting episode 77 from the Aquarius Home Services studio. We invite you to subscribe to the Go Gopher Podcast. You can always go back and listen to the Go Gopher Podcast from previous weeks. Last week, for example, we spoke with Lisa Byington Award winner Emma Carpenter, a Golden Gopher golfer who's also making her name as a broadcaster on BTN Student Productions. She's very talented, and it was a great conversation. We also heard from several Golden Gopher men's basketball players last week. Go back and listen. You'll enjoy it. This week, it's episode 77, and we have the up-and-coming hockey talent from Lindstrom, Minnesota, Gopher forward Connor Kurth, talking Gopher hockey. Connor Kurth joins me next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
Hi, Gopher fans. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on lights, we switch TV channels, we switch on the TV. And with the new transfer portal, some college students even switch colleges, which can seem crazy to us diehard fans. But what's not crazy is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, my agency can switch you over so we can start saving today. My team is ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood and show you it is, in fact, easy to switch and save. When you want the real deal, check us out at ChamplinInsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's episode 77, the Go Gopher Podcast, and we're talking Golden Gopher hockey with Gopher forward Connor Kurth. And Connor, it's certainly an exciting time. The offseason has created a buzz, I think. There's some folks really excited. The student section is already sold out. The rest of the arena is getting there. Are you feeling that sense, even though when you look out it's 90 degrees and all of that?
Yeah, I definitely am. I've been talking to a lot of the boys recently just around campus, and we're all super excited to get the season going, especially with the buzz that, we see as well. And our student section sold out in just a few hours, maybe even shorter, so that was really cool. So, yeah, we're all excited to get going.
Well, you had a busy week this week. We're going to talk all kinds of Gopher hockey here in a moment, but I want to talk more immediate with what you had going. You were in Tampa for development camp. All these NHL prospects camps are going on. The Wild are having theirs as we speak, as we tape this on Friday midday, and you're with Tampa Bay Lightning, a 6th-round pick from a year ago. So you were in Tampa much of this week. You just got back yesterday, Thursday, so take me through what Lightning development camp is like.
Yeah, it's really cool just to get to go down there. Especially, it's like a little vacation getting to go to Florida. Some of the locations aren't as glamorous as Tampa, so that's a good part about it. But you get down there, you have like your welcome dinner, and then you just kind of get right into the training. The whole week's about just getting better. They have like all their skills coaches there. Everybody from the AHL team is there, so they're just looking at you. Making sure you're getting better. That's kind of their motto, is they don't want you to miss a week of training being down there, so they push you pretty good while you're there. You said it was hard. Some of the camps, you've got buddies, of course, in hockey. It's a close-knit group, and when you're with the Gophers, just about everyone's at a camp or something here in the summer. That some of your friends, some of the camps maybe are a little easier, but this one that you said they put you through the ringer all week. Yeah, it's definitely a work week. It's not a vacation. You kind of just enjoy your time when you can off the rink. But I learned a lot this week. I picked up a lot of different little skills that you don't really work on in season because you're working on bigger things. So it was actually really cool, and I was really grateful for the different things I got to learn this week. Mentally, how do you approach that too? Because obviously you have college hockey coming up, but your goal is to play, in the NHL, to play for the Lightning. You want to make a good impression. So how do you feel? What do you get, butterflies, or how do you feel when you get ready and you go out with other guys who, one, you might be competing for spots, two, might be your future teammates in the National Hockey League? Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of just treat it like a regular week of like training for if we were to play Michigan or Michigan State or whoever on the weekend. I kind of just have that same mindset that it's a big week and I have to be dialed in. So I just treat it as though it's just an in-season game week. And then from the skill set, and you don't have to give away a lot of secrets, but you said you learned a couple of new things. What are some things that maybe you picked up on that you can implement here as the Gopher season gets rolling soon? Yeah, well, skating is a big thing that I've been working on in my game, and I just was able to see the improvement I made from last year. They showed me the video that they took right away to the video they took this year, and my stride was totally different. So that was really, it was cool to see the improvement over a year being at the U and working with their skating coach as well. And then some little skills that I just kind of learned during the season that I got to really hone in on was, so Matthew Nyes is super good at picking guys' sticks, and deflecting a stick that's coming at him. He'll slash it or he'll pick it up. And we did a lot of those drills, and it was just okay, I understand how Nyes is so good at this now, working on it in practice. So that was probably another big thing I took away from camp. Yeah, and then as you get through it, and it's, what was it, a 4-day, it was Sunday through Wednesday, right? It was, Monday through Wednesday? It might have been Saturday through Wednesday. So even more. So it's a long time. You mentioned that you did get hopefully some time to maybe. Now, of course, it's hot up here too. It was 90 plus here, so it wasn't as if when we were down there for the Frozen Four, that was great. It was 10 degrees up here, and and getting down there to get some sunshine. But did you get a chance did they let you get out a little bit? We get some free time. Some days we get done at 3 from the rink, so you kind of got 3 to 11 whenever their curfew is to hang out. We went to the beach one day, so that was pretty fun. We got to go to Topgolf as a group, and that was cool too. So they definitely let you do some cool things while you're there, besides just being at the rink all day. How many guys did you know or play against
maybe in college or what juniors, high schools, whatever your national teams or what have you over the course of time, and who have you maybe bonded with the most? Would you say out of the group that was there in Tampa?
Yeah, so actually pretty funny. One of my best friends and we got a player I went to school with since I was in 7th grade and played on the same line, same team. Actually got drafted to Tampa in this past draft, Jack Harvey. So it was really cool. He's like one of my best friends to be able to go down there with him. And then another player, Isaac Howard, we played Bantam Elite League together, and he was drafted there last year with me. So we just kind of bonded last year being there because we didn't really know anybody, and we just kind of knew each other, and we just kind of expanded upon that this year. So, but all the guys are great. We had a lot of guys, really good dudes in the organization there.
Is Harvey a Duluth? Did he go to Duluth?
No, he's at BU.
BU.
Yeah,
Who's a Duluth guy?
Isaac Howard was Duluth.
Okay, he was Duluth.
He's going to Michigan State now.
He is. Okay, very good. All right. Well, Tampa's a good organization. Obviously, they've won recently 3 cups. What do you think makes them go? Now that you've been around it and seen it work, what's the key to their success outside of obviously having a good core of players?
Yeah, they have a great culture there. That's kind of one thing they preach when you're there, and you just kind of see it within the staff. Like they are so detailed and they take care of everything you could possibly need. So as a player, it's probably just easy to get to the rink and know exactly what you're doing. And some of the guys were there, like Braden Point, Kucherov, Vasilevsky. They were all there while we were there, and you could just tell that they're just normal guys. Like they're eating lunch, same room as us, hanging out. So I think, they just have a really good culture, and I think it's easy to build upon that when that's your foundation.
It's totally different worlds, but do you see some similarities with even what the Gophers, you guys had such a great room last year, the old guys like the young guys like the old guys, you mixed on the ice beautifully. Is there some similarity even though they're 2 totally different worlds, do you think?
I'm sure. Obviously you don't get to see how their team runs. You only get small bits and pieces, but it does seem pretty similar. Like talking to some of the young guys that went through their training camp and got to spend time with their NHL regulars, they said that all the guys are super welcoming and they make you feel comfortable. And that's how I was here right away. You got Faber, Lacombe, all those guys just making you feel comfortable, like you're not a freshman, you're just one of the guys. I feel like it's probably a very similar vibe there.
Yeah, and then before we came on the air, I asked you about John Cooper, the head coach, who's had all the success there. It was mostly assistants and AHL staff that was kind of overseeing you guys this week. Yeah,
I'm sure he is just enjoying his time off. He's probably in the rink 24/7 during the season, so probably nice for him to get a little time off.
I get a kick out of hockey coaches especially. I think maybe it's because of the setup, and Motzko's this way too, where and Herb Brooks back in the day, they always had this cool look about them, kind of this machoism behind, the guys are there and they're standing behind and they got their tie on, and Cooper seems to be, I don't know him obviously and I just see him on TV, but he seems to have that cachet behind the bench as well when you just watch it.
Yeah, that's probably true, especially when you win 2 cups, you probably look a little tougher behind the bench.
Yeah, that always adds a little credibility to the whole thing for sure. So you had this week, you worked hard, you used it as a training week. Boy, I'd hate how you described it too. I'd hate to think if anybody decided they were going to take a few weeks off before camp, because that would have been a hard trek then if you showed up out of shape, I would think.
Yeah, it would be pretty awful if you decided to take a few weeks before. You would not have a good time.
How's the rest of your summer going then? So is this part of the training? Obviously you were training before. What's the rest of the summer look like? And you guys have such a long season. The regular season starts in October. You hope it ends in April. I mean, it's crazy to me that that's the way it is, but it is. And I'm sure you guys love it. Get a lot of games, but what's the summer like to get ready for it?
Yeah, you kind of you definitely take May to yourself, and then you kind of get back in, at least for me, get back into it. June, I skate a few times, work out in May, but nothing crazy. Then I kind of get back on the grind in June, your regular, skate 4 times a week, work out 4 or 5. And then, same as right now. Now I'm going to get back in the gym with Dieter and then just keep skating at regular, like 4 times a week.
Yeah, and then as we mentioned, when you got a roster like the Gophers have, everyone's kind of scattered at either camps or whatever, and some are national teams, some summers and whatever, what have you. Are most of the guys starting to now trickle back into town?
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. As the summer gets closer to the season, more guys start coming in.
How much dry land and then how much ice time do you want to have just to work, even if some of you guys get together to do it here between now and, say, the start of the school year?
Yeah, everyone's different. Everyone needs different stuff. For me, I like to skate. I really enjoy skating in the summer, so I'll get on the ice 4 times, maybe 5 times a week. Some guys are 1 to 2. And then same as working out, I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week as well, and then just kind of enjoy the weekends. Don't work out on the weekends, but try and get on the lake more than the gym on the weekends.
Now, totally sidebar, you mentioned the lake. So are you a recreational lake guy that wants to do jet skis, water skis, board, or are you a fisher guy that wants to go out and catch fish?
Depends on the day.
So either.
So, yeah, I fish all the time, but I think my real passion right now is definitely wake surfing.
Yeah.
But you can't wake surf the whole time, so then I'll cast a line in the water.
Do you have a home lake then?
I do, yep. I live on South Center Lake in Lindstrom, Minnesota.
Nice. And fishing all right too?
Great fishing.
What bass?
Mainly
walleye?
bass. Yeah. You'll catch a few walleyes here and there, but usually we're just pitching docks, catching some nice bass. We were fortunate. In May, me and my dad caught about 4 or 5 to 6 pound bass off our dock.
Wow,
so,
that's great.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Did you have a nice little fish fry, or did you catch and release?
Catch and release off the dock.
Right.
Yeah,
very
keep
good.
them in there.
Well, that's cool. There has to be some value to that too, especially hockey guys. Mentioned the length of the season, and then with summer, and we've talked about it. You got development camps and national teams and workouts, and for some guys last year, for you it was a draft, and you're traveling to that, and all or having people around for that or whatever it is. How important is it sometimes just to have the weekend to go fish off the dock or to wakeboard, as you say, or whatever, just to clear your mind from hockey for a minute?
You got to have it. I think any hockey player will tell you that time away from the rink is sometimes more valuable than time at the rink. You just need to clear your mind and then just be ready to go back to work on Monday, but really just use that time off to reset and just enjoy life a little bit, because it's a lot of work during the season, and it's a long period of time of consistent work.
Because it's interesting, because you guys are passionate about the game and you want to play, but you also have to have time away.
You gotta. It's really important.
So as you have this time away, will you guys get together and try to play any pickup games, or when you get, or is it more individual skill settings on the rink here in the next couple of months?
Yeah, we'll definitely do pickup games during the week. It just depends on the size of the group. If we have a good group, we'll definitely get into some pickup games. If we don't, it's just more individualized skill stuff. Usually it just depends on the group size and what we kind of text about who's going which day. So kind of stuff like that.
When you, first of all, and then the other thing, Mariucci, right? Is that still off? They're still fixing that? You can't get in there and skate, right?
No, we go to Ritter.
So you find Ritter, find ice there, and get some rink time there. How is that coming along? Have you peeked into Mariucci?
Yeah. Looks good to me. I'm definitely not a great judge of that, but to my eye, it looks pretty good. I'm excited to see the finished product.
Are you a fan of NHL size rinks, or did you like the Olympic sheet?
I love the Olympic sheet. It was definitely the added home ice advantage when teams come in, and especially the defensive teams, where we could spread them out more, because obviously we're a skilled and fast team. So I like that aspect of it, but it'll probably be better. A little more of a, when you're playing the defensive teams, it'll probably end up working out for us in the long run, especially coming down to late in the season tourney times. But it was nice to have for sure, and it made it a little more enjoyable with that little extra room.
Yeah, you got a little extra ice space out there for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned that they showed you some video with your stride, and you mentioned you're in the weight room. You look even bigger from the last time I saw you. So do you see? I mean, how do you track? How you're developing from a speed standpoint, a strength standpoint, even the skills in terms of shot making and balance and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're so fortunate to be here at the U, especially with Dieter, our workout. Cal Dietz, yeah, he is a genius when it comes to that stuff. So he always knows what gains you're making. We have specific tests that tell you exactly. We do a body scan, checks out everything. So we're so fortunate to know what's working, what you might need to do differently here. So that's kind of the main thing is just getting in the gym with Dieter, and he'll let you know what you need and what's working and what you might need to do a little differently.
So from a physical standpoint, from where you were last year coming in as a freshman, let's say even a year ago, 4th of July week like we are here, you're advanced from where you were just based on sheer experience and everything. How about mentally? I mean, when you come in as a freshman, I suppose you're confident, but you're not sure, and now you got a year under your belt. What's the difference from Connor Kurth this week, 4th of July, to last week, 4th of July?
Yeah, that's such a great point. Like the mental side of just being here for a year. For me, it's just a confidence thing. Just knowing that you can play, you have no more doubts. Like you've been in those big moments, and like for us, we've been in the biggest moments you can be. So it just puts like that extra security in your mind, and then you're really not stressing about anything. You're not anxious when you get to the rink. You're just excited. You know that you've done the work, and you know that you already have been there, so there's nothing to really worry about. So just having that like experience definitely makes it even more exciting to get into the year, because I know what we're capable of as a team, and now I've seen it for myself what I can do. So just really excited to get back into Mariucci in front of our amazing fans.
Yeah, I want to talk about those fans in a minute, but I also want to ask about your freshman year. As we mentioned, you a year ago at this time, you knew you were good. You were a draft pick. You had been around. You could have played hockey anywhere. You had a good freshman year. You had a little injury situation in the middle of it, but did it come as easy as you thought it would? Did you like how your freshman year went personally? I
loved it. I love being here. I would definitely wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Yeah, I had a great year. I'm just excited for next year. I loved how all the guys just kind of gelled together, and we kind of created a really special bond, and we should keep that going and build upon it next year. We got a great group returning. Yeah, that's about the best thing we got, is how good of a group we have together, even off the ice. We're just a bunch of really good dudes, and we're excited to build on that with our next year's freshmen.
Yeah, that's the thing that caught me, I think, or that really captured my intrigue in the team last year, especially, was just how you guys were on the ice, off the ice, and the relentless nature of it. I remember talking to Jackson Lacombe before the season started, coming off of the year before with the heartbreaking, you're in the Frozen Four, hoping to win it, you don't. And for old guys especially, and again, I'm just putting my own theory into place here. Old guys want to probably think like, we just got to get back there. Like, yeah, we want to play the regular season and everything, but we want to get back there. And Lacombe, I remember doing an interview with him on one of our Gopher Talks before the season, and he just talked about the idea that you can't rush it. You have to. The grind is real. And yes, I'd love to just say, hey, let's get to April. And it was amazing to me, guys that, many of those guys could have gone and made money, right? And they all came back. And then every weekend it was relentless. You didn't win every game, but you were in every game. There weren't hardly any clunkers. Maybe the Arizona State game, but that was right. That was Thanksgiving, and you had fun and whatever. Yeah. Anyway, my point is just the relentless nature of that team last year. Did you learn from those old guys about that? Because to me that was as impressive of a stretch as anything. Because those guys could have. They couldn't even been there. They could have gone and played,
right.
And then they committed to it, and then they didn't say, we can turn it on when tournament time gets here. And hockey's a little scary because it's, if you don't have your game, you lose a few that you don't want to lose, all of a sudden you're out because there's limited spots. But that said, just the relentless nature. How do you keep that from those guys, that attitude that they maybe instilled? Yeah,
they instilled that from day one. We had a team meeting, and I remember just our captain saying, like, we're not looking at April right now, guys. We're looking at right now. What do we need to do to get there? But we're not worried about that. We're worried about every day. We take it one day at a time, and they really did. Like, they embodied that every single day.
Just embrace that idea of every day's a work day.
Yeah, and they did. Our oldest guys were some of our hardest workers every single day. They're in the gym grinding, and you see that, and it's just like, as a freshman, you just do what they do.
Yeah,
like. You just, like, you're so, like, nervous and you don't know what's going on, and as soon as you see them doing that, you just follow along, and they set the right example right away, and I think that was probably the biggest reason that we were able to be so successful this year, is just how hard those guys worked and the example they set right away.
Yeah, and from the get-go, I mean, you guys had, it was 5 weeks into the Big Ten season, and the race is, for all intents and purposes, over, and even then you could have rested and
you guys still just, and even through some injuries, you were out, Lacombe was out for a minute, and guys stepped into those spots, and the train just kept chugging.
Yeah, we just kept moving along, but that's because of day one, the way they showed us how to do it, and we had a huge freshman group, so who knows what could have happened right away, but they made sure no funny business happened. We were to work, and it worked out.
So you lose some of those great leaders on the D-corps, especially. You mentioned Faber and Lacombe and Johnson and some others. Offensively, pretty much everybody's back. I mean, you lose Nyes, and that's a big hit. He was a finalist for
definitely a big hit.
But there's a spot there for people to step into. You know that, and I call it the top line because that's the top line. It was a great line, but lines 2 and 3 would be top lines on most teams, right? In Division I hockey. I mean, you were, I guess, if you want to label it, you were probably on the third line, but that line could have been a lead line on most D1 teams, right? I mean, when you look at it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
So, which is a good, which is another angle on how this team seemed to, that could create problems on some teams. If hey, I'm on the third line, I should be on the first line. How did you guys handle all of that part of it too?
Another thing, I don't think that issue arose once. Like, it didn't matter what line you were on. You were just going to work for your brothers. Like, there was no animosity. We really did have a special group, and that's kind of a big indicator of that, is nobody cared what line they were on. They were just coming to work and doing whatever they could to get a win for the fellas.
Yeah, and I also thought there were, obviously in hockey there's always times where, okay, these three are together, but there comes times where either position on ice or whatever, you're in with the top line maybe one time, and I'm thinking a couple of times Brodzinski got sent out, and he had the big goal in Fargo, right?
Yep.
I think Cooley fed him, and you're like, those guys, they're not together a lot, but it looked like they've been playing together all year on how that thing's set up. Right. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think that goes to show like the chemistry of the team that we had. And it all starts from the off ice. We're so close and we're always doing stuff together. And then like after practice, we're always playing mini games with each other and just kind of battling, but also you create that chemistry by doing that. So I think it didn't matter who you put with who. I think we were all going to just find a way and do it for each other.
Yeah, and so now, as we mentioned, a lot of that group is back. Nyes is gone, and there's guys who are on this roster that were starting to get some more time on the offensive end of the rink as well. How do you think now with that group coming back? Because it was that D-corps was the old group last year, and now I think you're looking at, and there's still, there's guys on that D-corps returning that are very good, but I think you, at least me as an outsider, would look at it and say, okay, that leadership might have to now come more from the offensive side of it. Would you think that's right, or how do you think that will unfold? Yeah,
I think that's a fair statement. We still obviously have some really nasty D. Our D are just ridiculous. So, but I think like guys like Nelly, Bruce, Nevs, like that line was all so good all year, and they showed us how to play the right way. They always were doing little things right, and they lead by example. And then, they're old guys now. You got a fifth year senior. So I think those guys will really just kind of take the lead and just kind of show everyone else what's going on and how we're going to be this year.
Another talented group of freshmen and newcomers coming in. Based on how you guys were welcome last year, how do you want to approach it? And I'm sure you're getting to know some of these guys already.
Yeah, that same thing. They're around. They come around and you say hi to the guys. Like that's how it was last year. We a lot of us lived on campus this year. I think there's just one freshman living on campus right now, but they come around all the time and they got stuff going on with the draft and everything. But you just kind of introduce yourself, hang out with them at the rink. You take them to Chipotle, whatever. Just hang out. Just understand that now they're a part of the group. They're just one of the boys. You're not a freshman. You're just a part of the team. And I think that just building that right away and not making them feel like singled out because they're a young guy, because I never felt like a young guy on the team. I just felt like I was on the team. Yeah. And we do a great job of that here. So hopefully we can do the same for these guys coming in.
Is it too early? Have you seen many of them on the ice in person? I mean, obviously maybe you've seen tape
before, but I've only skated with. I don't know if I've skated with any of the freshmen yet. I haven't been around that much with camp and everything, but they're all really good, obviously. So we're excited to get them in.
So we got the Nyes spot open, and then almost the rest of that top nine is there. how do you think? I mean, very early. I mean, and as you mentioned, it doesn't seem to matter. But like you guys, you played on the line with Pitlick and with Huglin, right? For the most part. By the way, this is episode 77. We should have had Pitlick in since he's 77. We could have had him in, but he had that great. Highlight goal of the Michigan game was
the craziest goal I've ever seen.
That was unbelievable.
My jaw was dropped for 5 minutes straight. That was unbelievable.
That was a great goal for sure. Anyway, does it matter who gets placed where? I mean, and then you think, I say, quote, again, fourth line, because you had some guys that were really starting, Lamb, I'm thinking, and some others that were starting to also get some action, and then you got some newcomers coming in like Moore and others.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters who you put where. I think we're all just going to trust what Bob has for us and just kind of go from there. Just put the work in every day like we do. So it doesn't matter. I think we just have the group that it really doesn't matter. We're just here to win.
Bottom line is you got some elite level centers, some elite level wings, and you're going to score some goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yep. It doesn't matter. Just get the puck in the net.
I wanted to ask you about last year. You mentioned the fans, so let's talk about the fans for a minute. The sellout streak got going there a little bit. It was sweet to see. And there was a point maybe when you were younger, before you got to Minnesota, that through various things, just different weird things, and COVID was part of it, but where there wasn't a lot of there were still fans, but there weren't sellouts. You know, when I was young, there were sellouts, and then there was this lull. So now all of a sudden you guys and the group maybe just ahead of you started to kind of bring this thing back to where, the students are filling it up. And that Michigan atmosphere was ridiculous, right? I mean, in that championship game. What's that like when you take the ice and you got that kind of support?
I've told many people this, but anytime that I go on the ice, I always get goosebumps playing at home. When you hear the band playing and the rousers going and you got the I don't know if there's a cooler feeling in the world than that for me. It's ridiculous. Like, the support we had this year was so amazing, and it's so cool to see it kind of turn around and go back to how it used to be. It's just really cool to be a part of. And I was actually talking to Dylan Duke, who was a Michigan player, and he was saying that Minnesota is his favorite place to play just because of our atmosphere is so awesome. And so I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool to hear.
It's even as an opposing, because he was at the Lightning.
He's a Lightning draft
pick
as well.
Even as an opposing, because I would think some players might say, God, I don't want to go play at Minnesota because that crowd's tough, but they're kind of embracing it too, which made for that great game.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't turn out the way the Gophers wanted, but it made for just a fantastically entertaining game, and what an atmosphere.
Yeah, I got to imagine that's a lot of people's favorite or least favorite place to play in the Big Ten, just if they like the atmosphere, or if I'm sure it's intimidating, especially when they're going for lineups and our whole student section's chirping them, and that fires me right up.
I'm getting fired up right now. Did you go to games a lot at Mariucci when you were young?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing I've noticed too in the recent time is how when I go, because I'm doing basketball games on the radio, so when I get a chance, I always want to get there. So I see in person maybe 6 or 8 games. I was at the 2 Big Ten games with Michigan State, the tournament games, and a few more. Anyway, St. Cloud, that great overtime game was amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing I noticed is how many young kids are there. Dudes with their sixth graders with their hockey mullets and their stocking caps, and their mom and dad have brought them, or third graders or high schoolers or what have you. And I think that's probably always been part of the hockey culture. I know I have nephews that played hockey, and they always would go to Gopher games or go to the state tournament. And what have you, but it's even more now. Does that? And again, when you're out there on the ice, I'm sure you're not like looking up trying to pay attention. But do you think it's cool that you got young 6th, 7th, 8th grade kids who see you out there and say, I want to be, number 10 someday when I grow up?
Absolutely, because I remember being that same 6th, 7th, 8th grade kid, even younger, being at Gopher games and thinking, wow, isn't like that's the dream right there. And I do notice it. I love seeing around the glass. I'll flip a couple pucks. I think just embracing that and just kind of talking, like, even saying hi or taking a picture after a game, I love it, because I remember being that same kid, just thinking how cool that would be. And I hope that, the kids that are Gophers feel the same way when they get here and want to do the same and make those kids feel special.
Yeah.
And I just think it just helps the culture so much, and just having the kids around it really is cool. Like, it's cool for me that they want to be me, or they think that's cool and they want to get a picture with me. So I enjoy it.
When you were coming as a youngster, who were guys skating at that time that you're like, I want to be like him?
Yeah.
That were Gophers.
My favorite Gopher was probably Nick Leddy. When they used to do the skate with the Gophers, and then they would also do the pond hockey tournament where they'd go over. And I just remember I talked to him forever, and he signed my jersey, took pictures. He let me fake sign his jersey. I have a picture of it, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I think just being that in the community made me fall in love with the Gophs, and especially Nick Leddy. I thought he was. I mean, obviously he's a ridiculous player, but I think that was probably cool. my first realization of wow. I want to be a Gopher.
When did you realize, okay, I'm good enough here? I can play at a high level.
Probably when I was 13.
Okay.
When I started playing for Gentry, I always was a good hockey player. And then when I went over to Gentry, I saw all the Minnesota talent, which is amazing. Yeah. Most of the guys I play with now. And then I got to see the whole country and Canada, and I was like, okay, all right. I see the talent, and I see I can play in this group. So I kind of realized then that I had a shot, to hopefully play D1 hockey. And started taking it a little more seriously, and I was fortunate enough to end up here. Yeah,
here you are. When did the recruiting start? And I forget, when did you commit?
I committed December 19th, 2019, 2020. So it was my junior year of high school. So it was probably 2019, just about to turn 2020.
Yeah, gotcha. And so when did you start getting letters and serious interest?
So that rule was, I was the first year that rule was in place where you couldn't commit till August.
Yeah, because there used to be 8th graders.
Right, my teammates were committed in 8th grade. So I think I talked to schools before, and then that rule was put in place, and I was right at the time. So then I couldn't really talk to schools about serious stuff. And then in August, it started to pick back up. And then once my season started in September, I started getting interest. And then, Bob came and watched me play. I went in a visit that week and committed the same day of my visit.
See, now that's the beauty of Minnesota hockey. You go to Mariucci when you're young. You have Nick Leddy sign your jersey. Yeah. And when Bob Motzko says, you want to be a Gopher, it took you a minute, right? Not a minute.
I left.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I left campus, and I had other visits scheduled and everything, and I was like, well, how do I go about this? I don't want to go on those visits. I kind of know where I want to be. So I called the coaches of the other schools and let them know, and I was and then I called Bob and I said, I'm ready. And he's like, perfect. I wasn't expecting to answer that quick, but that's awesome.
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
And here you are. You are, ready for year number 2. Not to bring up the bad memory of a national championship game, but I want to ask you about it because for 2 reasons. I was down there covering, and I don't want to get too in detail with it, but I don't think I've ever seen. So I've been in radio now and in the media for since 1990. So whatever it is, 32 years. Been in a lot of lockers. Been in Super Bowl losing locker rooms. I don't think I've ever seen a locker room that had the devastation that you guys had. How have you coped with it, and 2, how do you move on to continue to say, all right, we're going to use this to win this thing next year?
Yeah, coping not well. Yeah. I probably right away just being with the guys. That was the only way to go about it, because you get by yourself for too long, you end up getting sad. So I think just being together kind of helped us work through it. Try not to think about it as much as I can, because it still haunts me. But I think the devastation in the room just kind of showed the love and the passion we had for each other to try and get it done for one another.
I think in a weird way it was beautiful almost.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't want to.
I think that's a great word
to
use.
I mean,
yeah, it was crazy, how it went down and everything. But now looking back on it, we got to have that same love for each other this year and the same passion. And yeah, I think just building on that for next year, like we've literally been minutes away from winning it all. So we just take that frustration, turn it into like motivation for this year, and just try and do everything we did this year and just keep building upon it. Good foundation.
And it's so hard. It's so hard to win that many games in a row. Somebody has to win, and like you said, you guys were close. So now have to climb that ladder again to get to where you get that chance again. You got to embrace that. I called it a grind a couple of times. I don't know any other word to describe it. Right?
That's a great word for it, but it's an enjoyable grind.
Yeah.
We have probably the most enjoyable hockey team to be on that I've probably ever been on. So it's not a job. It's not hard to go to the rink every day. It's enjoyable. So it's a fun grind that we get to do together, and it just kind of brings us closer for when that time comes. And you saw it in the room, like those guys came back to win it, and we all wanted nothing more to get it done for them, and obviously it came up short. But that's kind of the beautifulness of the moment, I guess, was seeing how the grind brought us together throughout the year.
No question. It was like I said, I've covered all kinds of teams, World Series teams, Super Bowl teams, national championship kind of teams, and this team was as close as any I've ever, kind of seen. It kind of captured my I was just so intrigued and so fascinated and so impressed by how you guys went about it. And now as you churn forward and you're ready to take this, you got the talent, you got your goaltender back. How important is having Justin Close back?
It's definitely an amazing feeling to know that he's back there. Like, if something bad happens, he's probably going to make the save. So it's just really it's just like a nice little security blanket, I guess is a good way to put it. Yeah. Just knowing he's back there, because we all love closer, and even if he never played a game, we would love for him to come back because we love being with them. And he's just a freaking amazing back there. So we're all just so pumped for him to be back and know that we can count on him to win us a few games.
Yeah. He's just got a cool nature to him, doesn't he? And I say cool. I mean, he's
I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. He's just cool, calm, and collected.
But in everything he does.
Yeah, everything.
Right?
I mean, but he is just always dialed in, but he is so calm about it. He could probably, hopefully this never happens, but he could let in 10 goals and he would still not let it bug him. He would just be ready to go for the 11th. But he is like a goalie I've never seen how well his mind is back there.
Yeah, I did an interview with him, just a quick hitting interview before one of the series last year. I can't remember which one. And Scott Slarks, the sports information communications guy, says, just walk into your guys' the kitchen room downstairs, and he's sitting over at the table. So I walked over, and I think he's eating a bowl of cereal or something. And even that, he's just like, even in that, he just had a presence about
he's
eating a freaking bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Right? And he just sets the bowl down. Yeah, ask a few questions, answers them. Mm-hmm. And his demeanor is pretty incredible for sure.
It's probably the perfect goalie demeanor that you could have.
Yeah, no doubt. The Canisius game, let's talk about that. You had a goal and an assist in that game, and that was an interesting game because you guys were obviously the number one overall seed. They were the worst team, quote unquote, worst team in. They got in only because they won their conference tournament. And with that comes some weird pressure, because over the years there's been some of those weird upsets. And I don't know if you guys were playing tight, but it was a tight game for a minute. And then once the seal broke, it was there. And you had an important, it was an important goal at the time that you put it in. Take me back to that game in Fargo.
Yeah, that was an interesting game for me. Before I ended up scoring that goal, I tore 3 ligaments in my ankle.
Oh,
and I
so you're skating on that,
right? Yeah, and I tried to skate the next morning and I couldn't, and it wouldn't work. So that didn't end up getting to play against St. Cloud for that reason. But anyways, so I did that first shift in the second period, and I was like, I'm just gonna try and battle through it. And luckily, I was able to, and I can't remember. I think it was Mike. Yeah, I think Mike made a really, really nice pass to me, found me in the slot, and I was able to find it through the goalie's 5-hole, and that was probably one of the coolest moments of my life, just scoring in the tournament and being there. And I had a fun celly, so that was cool. But no, that was definitely an amazing feeling, and happened to be the winner, but obviously the seal kind of broke on that game. But Yeah, that was definitely a really cool experience, and being able to play through the injury and find one, it was cool.
And because it was a big goal at that point, because in those kind of games, the longer they go and the underdog's hanging in there, the tighter maybe the thing gets and the more confident they get. And so you score that goal and then another one happens, and then was that the game with the major?
Yeah, they had a major, and then we scored a few on
Jackson
the major.
Put one in, and the next thing you know, it's over. But it was certainly an important goal. So you missed the St. Cloud game, but were you able to enjoy it, to know that the team made the Frozen Four?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've never been I don't get nervous for hockey.
So you're more
games
nervous
anymore.
watching than playing.
I was like shaking how nervous I was. I couldn't control it. I don't know, because I'm a pretty calm player. I don't get nervous for a big game. But I've never been more nervous, I think, in my life than watching that game. But it was so rewarding watching them get it done and knowing that I'll have a chance to get it back in for the Frozen Four, which I was able to. So
they put an extra week in there, so that helped.
Yeah, that helped with the recovery.
Where do you watch when you're injured? Like, I know in the NHL you're upstairs. I guess I never paid attention with you.
That day I just sat with my family because they were there. I don't know at Mariucci. I got scratched one game against Ohio State, and we were just kind of by ourselves in the stands, but their stands was empty.
Not many fans.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
Not like Mariucci.
Exactly. All right. So, what's your major? Obviously, you want to have a long career in hockey, but what's your long-term look here and short-term with the major too?
Yeah, I'm doing business marketing. It's a very, very common degree on our team. I think 90% of the team does business marketing. I enjoy it. We'll see. Hopefully, hockey just kind of takes me down the road, and I'll get into whatever after that. But hopefully, stay in hockey as long as I can.
Well, business marketing, you understand the importance of sponsorship. So let me mention our sponsor here real quick. And we can't say anything yet, but I think you're going to like this sponsor because I know that there's some things on the horizon. Affinity Plus, by the way, sponsors our podcast each week.
Yes,
it's your local credit union, proudly serving Minnesota since 1930. If you're a current Gopher student or a proud Gopher alum, you're eligible to join this financial that wants to build a meaningful banking relationship and put you first. You can meet with a local employee at any of their branches statewide, including right off campus in Minneapolis. To learn more or find other ways to connect, visit affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Affinity Plus, Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. They're one of our great Gopher supporters. We appreciate their support of the Go Gopher podcast. And we can't say anything just yet, but there could be pending things with Affinity Plus and a certain guest this week on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe some things behind the scenes. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully down the road for sure. Well, hey, Connor, we'll let you go. I know it was a busy week for you in Tampa, and we appreciate you spending some time with us. It was great. You were awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, very good. He is Connor Kurth. Can't wait for hockey to get here. Don't want to wish the summer away. He has a lot of fishing and wakeboarding to do yet, but and some time on the ice. But when October hits and that season starts, it'll certainly be fun. And get your tickets. Students sold out already, and the rest of that arena is going fast. Connor Kurth, our guest. It's episode 77.
I hope you enjoyed all the terrific insight from Gopher hockey player Connor Kurth. Such an exciting time right now for Gopher hockey. The student section already sold out. The rest of the arena getting close. Get those tickets today. My thanks to Connor Kurth for spending time with us on the Go Gopher Podcast, episode number 77. We're presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com. We're also partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Being a Gopher alum or a Gopher student means you're eligible for membership at Affinity Plus. Once again, all the details at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. We're also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and right now click the subscribe button to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to do that and free to listen at any time. And please share that link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. We'll talk again next week.